Hi, my name is Brooke Lipman.
And I'm Dr. Deb Lipman,
And this is Wine Together,
a podcast where we drink some wine and have a chat.
So sit back, relax, and get that corkscrew ready.
Okay, Prost. And I can't wait to tell you what I read about this wine.
Okay.
So there's a film on mine. I don't know if it's from my lipstick. But do you see the sheen on top of mine?
Yeah, that's from your lipstick.
It's got to be from a lipstick. Okay, because it's a kind of a glossy lipstick. So this wine is a Rioja Crianza. Beautiful, dark red wine. In case y'all don't see it. And yes, I'm wearing a white blouse. I know.
Yeah, I'm also wearing white, so.
So it's probably not good.
That's okay.
But when I read about it, it said it is a high quality, here's my favorite part, daily drinking wine. And so I thought, ooh, I definitely, we need that in the wine rack.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, it's a kind of expensive though.
Yeah, I know. So, and it's really good. It's very good.
Anyway, sorry, I wanted to go back to the wearing white thing because I was going to say, we won't spill it on ourselves, but I was drinking my can of beer earlier and I definitely spilled like all over myself because just like taking a sip.
Were you home by then?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a bus beer today. We didn't get on a train, so we didn't get train beer, but we did. We had a long wait at the train station, bus stop, and I said, do we want a bus beer?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So we tried something new. We tried a new beer. It was good, and I really like this. Is the first time I've had the Kuhn Crianza, Rioja Crianza. So I really like it. This is from 2020, and we are in the prime drinking time of this one, probably till about 2028 as well, like the other one. So we're in the prime drinking time it is, and I'm telling you, it is good.
Yeah.
And we will finish this bottle today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
even though it is really unbearably hot outside.
Yeah. Well, this is the kind of heat I love because I just like. This is dumb because I say this when it's snowing.
Yeah.
I say this when it's mild in spring and fall, and I say this in the summer. I always say it's my favorite kind of weather. I guess it's my favorite kind of weather for that time of year.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, because I just love to be outside.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, I know. The heat kind of makes me a little bit loopy, so
yeah, well,
I'm kind of tired.
Yeah. Let's just have some more of this high quality daily drinking wine.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. I love it. So we said we wanted to talk about documentaries today, and I'm going to tell you, I have a list.
Oh, okay.
Because I always have a list when it comes to this subject because I do love to watch documentaries, and I love to read stories. I listen to different podcasts. And I think that's one reason I like kind of the true crime podcasts is because they are like documentaries. Yep. They're telling this story of something that happened, and it actually happened. And I will watch documentaries from all over the world.
Okay.
And Netflix has a very good choice in Switzerland.
Hold on. It looks like your microphone is not directly in front of you.
Okay, sorry.
It's kind of funny.
So Switzerland, Netflix in Switzerland has a great set of documentaries from all the different countries, all over the world. And so I have watched so many, and I made a list of a few that I'd watched on Netflix, and I've made a list of a few that I want to watch that are currently on the Swiss Netflix. Yeah. So, and I hope that you kind of have a list.
Sure.
Well, okay, then I'll ask you about some of the ones that I have and see if you've
Okay.
heard of them.
Okay.
Okay, so I watched The Staircase, but I watched this actually before we moved here. So that means it was at least 6 years ago.
I've not heard of that.
Okay, this is a documentary about someone who lived in Durham, North Carolina.
Okay.
And his wife died of an accidental fall down the stairs.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and it goes just like you expect.
Yeah.
Because guess what? His first wife died too.
Interesting. Yeah.
So I am 100% convinced. He pleaded, he took an Alford plea.
Okay.
Which means he says, okay, I recognize the state has enough evidence against me, but I'm not going to say I did it. So I'm basically not going to go to trial, and I'm just going to take an Alfred plea saying that, that I did it, basically, But, he felt like he couldn't win his case in court. And this was like, he had been through several trials, I think, from what I remember of it. But I remember the case from when I was much younger.
Okay.
I remember this person that was saying that and I remember it so vividly because it was so close to my home.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of remembered it. Okay, and then the second one I have is called The Keepers. Did you watch that one?
No.
Okay, it's about this. It's about these nuns that.
Sorry, one of my eyes looks like it's more closed than the other.
Okay, well, sorry.
I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted because I'm tired. Sorry.
Anyway, it's about this order of nuns that wanted to get involved with solving the case of a nun that had been murdered way back in the day. And I watched that one. I don't know if I was here.
Okay.
But I watched that one a long time ago as well. And it's still on Netflix.
Nice.
What about Sins of Our Mother? Have you seen that one?
No.
Okay. This lady, I think maybe last week, just finally finished all of her appeals. And she's finally going to stay in jail.
Okay.
She killed 2 of her kids, an ex-husband, and she tried to kill her, I think it was her niece's husband. Anyway, she's just this evil person. She would actually, she really tried. She is, of course, one of those people that used God and, her belief system to, justify some of the crap.
Mm-hmm.
But she, she just, she was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was sad because she did have one child that escaped basically because he kind of was old enough and got out.
Yeah.
Before all the cray stuff went down. Yeah. So, and that was, but I think it was just last week that she was still in court on an appeal and she represented herself. And needless to say, she was definitely found guilty. So, Okay, this is one that Ren wanted me to watch. And I had already watched it when Ren said, oh, you got to watch this documentary. Because, of course, Ren knows my obsession with watching and reading stuff like this. It was called The Program.
I haven't heard that.
Oh, my goodness. It's so good.
Okay.
I don't want to tell you about it because I want you to watch it.
Okay.
But,
I'm sure I have not heard of any of these on
well, this one is about these several schools. Several schools where parents sent their troubled teens.
Yeah.
And as an educator, when I watched, it was one of those. It's one of those I was so glad I was by myself because I could yell at the television.
Yeah.
And I could cuss them out. And I did.
Yeah.
And, I try not to do that when people are here.
Okay.
But I did. And I'm so glad that I watched it by myself.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because, your dad and I will watch certain TV shows together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think there are times that I'm glad I get to watch stuff by myself because I know how I behave.
Yeah. Does that mean I can yell at the TV when I'm watching football with you then?
You may. I don't, look, I'm not the one that gets bothered by that.
He does it all the time.
And yet it bothers him when someone else does it.
I don't yell angrily. I'm just like, hey, you could have made that pass or something.
Well, I do it every once in a while. I'll let him slip out when I'm watching football with you. I do. You know, and I'll be like laying in the bed and hearing something, and I'll walk down the hall and say, "What happened? What happened?" So I know I didn't know if that bothered you when I do that.
No, you've listened to me play FIFA, so
yeah, which is fun. It just is so much fun. Oh my gosh, so
I can't curse when I play FIFA with Dad here.
Yeah, and you know, what about Gone Girls? You didn't watch? I just watched that one last week.
I watched the movie called Gone Girl, but that's based on a book and it's fictional. But I have not seen the documentary. And
it's really good. It's about the Long Island serial killer.
Okay.
And I've listened to several different documentaries with this because there's several people that have, podcasts that have. I'm sorry, let me start that over. I have listened to several different podcasts with this because several people have done different podcasts. You know, one's from I think one for sure is from a journalist that lives on Long Island. I'm pretty sure she's done her. But anyway, but one also so I watched that one last week, and I also watched. I'm pretty sure this was last week or 2 weeks ago, from Rock Star to Killer. I told you about this on another podcast. This is a French documentary.
Okay.
Which, you know, I like different countries, and I like to. I don't mind reading subtitles. I'm one of those people that I really don't mind.
I like subtitles.
So I could hear him. I could hear it in the original language.
Yeah.
And beautiful French-speaking people, and of course from the part of France that I love, Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Good dark red wines from there. But anyway, he was a rock star, and I have to say, no surprises in that one. No surprise that the victim was blamed because she was a girl.
Yeah.
And he went on to further fame after serving time. You know, went on to terrorize other women. And it just surprise. They actually interviewed in this documentary. They interviewed one of the executives from the music company that represented him, and he said, "Well, he's a phenomenal musician, so I'm not going to hold this against him."
Well.
Anyway, I was pretty impressed. And anyway, the last one I have as far as what I've watched recently is that the documentary that's on Netflix called Adolescence.
It's not a documentary.
Oh, it's not a documentary?
No, it's not.
Let me take that one off. Okay, so that's fiction.
Uh-huh.
Oh, shoot, but it's really good.
I started it. I'm on, I think episode 2 or 3. But I haven't been able to finish it because...
Okay, so some of your dad's friends have told him he needs to watch it?
Yes.
And so I said, well, I'll watch it again. I don't mind watching it again.
He's going to be upset at first watching it, but I think it'll sink in for him.
I hope I'm not spoiling anything for anybody. Okay, it's not a documentary. Okay, but I don't know why I had that down. Again, from my perspective of a person who spent a lot of time in education, whose doctorate was based on education, I struggled with this show because I know he was not operating with a fully developed brain. However, I also get that people want somebody who does something heinous like that to be not in society, away from society. So I get those sides of it. I also cannot imagine, had that been my teenage daughter that he hurt, I don't know that I could as a parent, I don't know that I could allow my thinking brain to work through that process.
Mm-hmm.
It would definitely be my emotional brain.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw that side, but also just his family. It was is well represented throughout this
Mm-hmm.
whole show.
Okay, yeah.
And boy, my heart just broke for them too. So I felt like it was well done, and I was very proud of him in the end.
Okay, well,
So
I
I'm
haven't
gonna
finished
say
it. So.
I'm not gonna say anything else. I was very
Okay.
proud. I felt like it ended well, and I'm gonna leave it at that because I'm gonna start crying because
Okay.
that was emotional for me.
Okay.
But anyway, it wasn't a documentary. So,
Yeah, no.
but here's some ones that I want to see that are on Netflix that I'm hoping I have some time. Unfortunately, you reminded me
Mm-hmm.
when we were at the grocery store. You pointed out the hours for tomorrow.
Yeah.
That they're closing early and that your dad is off work the next 2 days.
It's a holiday tomorrow.
So I won't be watching documentaries the next 4 days.
Well,
But
you won't be watching Psych because it's
nope,
today's the last day.
Today's the last day, and I don't think that he's going to be home tonight for that.
Oh, well.
So I want to see the Oklahoma City bombing, American Terror, because having visited that site, that I was actually when the actual bombing happened, I had just been put on bed rest, and I was pregnant with Mason. I had been put on bed rest, and this happened, and my girlfriend, who was in pharmacy school, came over to see how I was doing, and she just laid in on what had happened. It just tore her up. She was so upset. And, we didn't know a lot about those kids at the time. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure this documentary is going to, wait a minute. No. I'm pretty sure. No, was this the one where I was on bed rest, or was it?
I don't know.
Anyway, whatever. When it happened, so I might not have been, because I might not have been. This might have happened. I know what it was. I'm thinking of Columbine. Okay. Because it happened on the same day, but a few years later.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was on bed rest. But this happened, before that, and I remember the images that I saw on television. Through, local and national news. I was in the U.S. at the time, in undergraduate. And I just remember thinking, who would do this? So I really want to see it because, one, I remember the actual event happening. And two, when I went on my cross-country trip with your dad, we went by the memorial. Yeah. And I was so touched. By that. And there were, you get there and I had heard, nice things about how well done this memorial was. But, there were people there whose family had died. And so every person, I think every person that died, there's a chair representing that person. Yeah. Anyway, there were people sitting on the chairs of family members, and there's a tree that survived it. Yeah. The survivor tree.
You got me the Lego set of the survivor tree. Yeah. Because I physically cannot put it together because the way it was made does not support itself.
So it's not a survivor tree.
Yeah, no, I don't know who designed that Lego because it's not an actual Lego set. It was.
It's just a brick.
Knockoff.
It's a brick set.
It wasn't Brixies.
But I'm saying it's plastic bricks.
Yeah. It was just like a knockoff Lego set, and whoever designed it did not know how to design it because it has all these Legos for the branches, but that's too heavy for even the center. Yeah. So you can't put it together.
You know how I feel about trees and nature. Yeah. Well, and eventually everybody else out there is going to know. Yeah. This tree, when we had been all through we were at the site. I mean, we walked all around that site. And, even being there, I was like, in my, because I'm weird. I'm sorry. I'm just this weird person. And so it's weird. It's funny when your dad and I go places, a place like that, he just goes because, he just goes. Just say he went. Maybe to get a stamp in a passport book. Honestly, that's the way he thinks. He doesn't. But when I go, I'm in that moment. Anytime I'm at something like that, I am back at that moment, imagining the blast, imagining, remembering the images that I saw on television. And I took a picture of one of the trees that they had recently trimmed the trees. So I was at eye level of a branch, and there was this resin, so it might have been a maple tree, because you could see like the resin coming out of it, like the syrup, basically was what it looked like. But there was a drop coming out of the circle part of where they had cut the branch, and so there's like the circle, and then there's that resin that looks like a teardrop. And I just happened to snap the picture, and I didn't see that until after I was going through the pictures and looking at them, and I thought, oh my gosh, even the trees cry here. And that's what I posted on Facebook when I posted it about that tree, because it really looked like the tree was crying, and I felt so emotional. Even, here I am again, getting emotional about, and again, it's just a place, but the families that, it's always going to be, it's never going to be just a place to them. They lost someone there. I mean, I remember the images of firefighters carrying babies out of that building, because there was a daycare there. And it was just so awful. And I could never figure out why somebody would want to do something like that. And I still can't. I am never going to be the kind of person that is ever going to be okay with something like that. So I know it's weird that I want to watch this documentary, but I really do want to watch it. And but anyway, I don't know if I'll wear my Survivor Tree T-shirt because I love that T-shirt. But anyway, have you watched Dancing for the Devil?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's the 7M TikTok people. It's like, I don't...
is that the one that you were watching the other day?
No, I want to start watching it, though. But I wasn't sure if you wanted... But anyway, these people, were convinced to come dance, and they were going to be TikTok videos of them. They were going to make them famous, and blah, blah, blah. You can about imagine. And there's another one called The Twister, which, because I like weather phenomenon, too. I guess that goes right along with nature. I do want to watch that one. Okay. Because, I'm terrified of tornadoes, but I still want to watch. I want to watch The Lost Children. And then the last one I have on my list that I want to watch, and I don't know if you know about it, but there's a documentary about Schitt's Creek.
Okay, I know about it. I haven't watched it.
And I can't wait.
It's like the making of Schitt's Creek.
I'm so excited. Oh, so excited. Yeah. I am that, when I saw that was, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to. So I gotta make sure your dad gets to work, and I gotta have a few hours. Yeah. So yeah. So what documentaries do you want to watch?
Well, there's a lot of football documentaries I gotta watch. Well, right now I'm watching Sunderland Till I Die, and I need to finish that. I just finished season 1 yesterday, and there's only like 8 episodes in each season, but I wonder. Sorry, I'm looking at my.
I love the music, the theme,
the song. Yeah,
I love that. What is the? It's the
song, the song is called Shipyards. It's
Shipyards.
by the Lost Poets. Hold on, let me check that. I don't think
I love that theme
Lake
song.
Poets.
The Lake Poets.
I was close.
Yeah, I could have brought up because you sent it to me, but I've got to change SIM cards. Like I have to switch which account I'm doing because I only have Apple Music on one SIM card, but with 2 SIM cards in the phone, I have to like switch it out. Yeah. It's just weird. I hate it.
The Lake Poets are a Sunderland-based band.
Oh, this is so
So
cool. They're from that
Yeah,
area.
they're from that area, so that's why like they chose that song, and it's such a pretty song. Um,
You know, and
and
they sound awesome.
yeah, they're really good.
I really like them. I think I honestly will look for more music from
Yeah,
them.
I mean, that's part of one of their albums. I found like a couple of their stuff. And then uh, I also really like World War II and Holocaust documentaries.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
there's this one on Netflix called Dachau, and it's really, I've watched it like 3 times. It's so sad, but it's really good.
I think I've seen that one. I think
Okay.
Mason made me watch that one with him.
It's really good. And yeah, there was another one I had to watch for a summer class I did a couple years ago called Winter on Fire, and it was about the Ukraine war, but it was before 2022, so it was from 2014 when
They invaded Crimea.
Yes, and it was kind of around that time. It was that, but there was also like they were in Kiev and like people were protesting and all that, and it is so good.
Okay.
That one's one you have to watch with subtitles because it's in Ukrainian.
I don't mind.
There's some English speaking.
I definitely want to see them because I like learning more about the history of stuff.
Yeah. And we've watched. There's like a couple series. I mean, we talked about the Gabby Petito documentary. Gosh, that one's so good. And
was that American Horror or something like that?
American Murder or something.
American Murder.
Yeah, something like that. And then there's the like series How to Be a Dictator. That one was really good.
That was good.
We have to watch all the other ones. There's like How to Be a Mob Boss. Cult Leader. I think there's another one too that I want to watch. And then I started watching oh my gosh. Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey. But I never finished it because I was waiting to watch it with you, and then you went to the US.
Okay.
So
that's right. I remember that.
Oh gosh, there's quite a few. I mean, there's a lot of like series. There's I have to finish watching La Liga All Access.
Okay. Who was in that one? What teams? All of them?
All of the La Liga teams. I think I only have like 2 or 3 more episodes left of it. But it's been a while, so I probably have to start it from the beginning. There's another football documentary that I want to watch that I can't look up on my phone right now because I have my VPN on the US. So I need to I can look it up on my computer.
No. Sorry, just get rid of it.
Okay.
Sorry,
you have it on here? Or you have it downloaded?
What's that?
Netflix.
No, I probably not.
Okay.
Sorry. I have it on the TV if you don't want to.
No, it's okay. I can do it on my computer. Okay. This won't go away, I promise. I probably shouldn't have looked it up on here because.
Yeah. Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Oh, you already mentioned that one.
Is this the one? Yeah, Together, Treble Winners is the other one I want to watch. Oh, and Hitler and the Nazis is one I want to watch. I have quite a few documentaries on my Netflix list. Homicide Los Angeles.
What was the other one?
Space Jam, obviously. What?
Hitler and the Nazis.
Hitler and the Nazis. Yeah, it has a subtitle, but I don't know. Your phone was like recording, I think. I'm trying to.
But it's recording in French, though.
Oopsies. Evil on Trial.
So
the
funny.
Subtitle for the Hitler and the Nazis is Evil on Trial. Hold on. There's other ones. That one's really good. I don't think this one's a documentary. No. Oh, it wasn't How to Be a Dictator. It's How to Be a Tyrant.
Oh,
How to Become a Tyrant. Yeah. How to Become a Mob Boss. How to Become a Cult Leader. Yeah, this is Dachau. The one that I was thinking of. And here's Winter on Fire, Ukraine's fight for freedom.
Okay.
Oh, I think this is a documentary. They Shall Not Grow Old. I want to watch that one too. It's pretty good. Okay, that's back to the beginning. Sorry, I'm just looking at.
You do have quite a list.
I have a lot of things I want to watch, and then I never do for whatever reason.
Well, I do watch. I don't mind telling people that I watch movies and watch TV, and this is how I spend some time in learning. Because I also spend a lot of time listening to podcasts. A lot of time.
I don't.
I want to spend more time writing. I know, and I want to spend a little more time traveling now that I'm feeling a teeny bit better. I don't feel great.
Yeah.
But in fact, that's what Ren was just texting me about. Mm-hmm. He said, because he keeps up with my health on the Apple Health. We share our stuff, and he said your respiration is worse. It's getting worse. Yeah. I said, I know. I can't breathe. I hurt. Yeah. But it's okay. I said, no, cardiologist said drink more. So, but yeah, it's, so I will, when I'm not feeling great, I'm going to sit and watch, do documentaries and stuff. And
I just don't
learn. It's just fun.
I can't focus for that long to watch that many. And so I need time to do it. But recently, because I used on Sundays when you guys would go somewhere, I used to watch movies. But recently, there's just been football games on Sunday, so I've just been watching those. Because I can't watch a movie and then also sit and watch a football game after it. Yeah. So
that's a lot of time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, if we had a big old TV outside under the awnings, that would be kind of nice.
Maybe, but I have a lot of things I want to do and watch and all that. And there's been a couple other documentaries that I really liked. There's one I want to watch. It's called The Tinder Swindler. I've heard about it for however many years that I heard it was really good, just the way it was put together. But yeah,
I have something funny to say. No, this is so okay. So before we moved here, Mason was in high school, and I was trying to keep up with you kids and all the social media stuff and everything, and Tinder came out. And I said, oh, do I need to get Tinder? And he says, no, you don't need to get Tinder. And he refused to explain what Tinder was to me. And so then that made me think, well, I guess I need to get it to see what they're doing, right? I got to be that, conscientious mother. Anyway, I downloaded the app and then I erased it off of my I didn't even set up a profile because then I was like, oh, never mind. But it did bother me that he wouldn't tell me what it was because then I would have never even downloaded the app. But I was like, oh my gosh, Yeah. And speaking of apps, Jesus, there's a lot of we got to start being careful as old people on the apps we download.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm getting Signal. So, I just, it's funny.
Your phone is just reacting.
I know. I say something and then, I get, and it's because I started talking about social media and I'm on Substack and now I'm on Substack. Well, your phone is
still on.
But I'm not looking at it.
That's not how it works.
That's not how it works, Mom. Go ahead and say it.
Oh my God.
What the heck is this?
What did you do?
I don't know. It's not how it works, Mom. I know.
The way you use your phone stresses me out.
Why is that?
Because it's you don't know what you're doing.
But I do most of the time. I know most of the time. And yes, there's a lot of times I don't. But I would say more than not. I do.
Yeah.
What about today? Okay, let's talk about this morning.
Okay.
So the people were supposed to come wash the windows. Yeah. And so I said, don't go out there like that, in your pajamas. And you started to say something. And I said, look, I know what you're going to say. And I get what you're going to say. And here's what I'm going to say about that. Yes, it is more important that we teach boys and men that our body is our body. It is not their playground. And even the way they look at us is disgusting. You know what? It just is. And that's what we should, that's the message we should be saying is boys just need to learn to do better.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the point of adolescence.
Yes, it is. But, I feel like a lot of times wardrobe even becomes, a battle between moms and daughters. And I don't want it to be. Because I get your point. Mm-hmm. Yes, you should be allowed to wear whatever you want, wherever you want, whenever you want. You should be. Mm-hmm. And you should not have to be in danger for what you wear. And if it looks cute and you feel good about it, then great. Mm-hmm. But again, and I agree with that. I am 100% on board with that. Just because I wouldn't do it, I'm still very conservative with what I wear, which is, weird. But it just is the way. It's how I'm comfortable.
Yeah, well, I sweat like a pig. So in the summer, I'm always wearing like tank tops and stuff because other stuff is just, it's too much.
Yeah. And so, I don't even think you need that excuse.
No.
You don't need an excuse for what you wear.
No, it's
However, I just felt like, for your own comfort of not somebody being a weirdo.
Yeah.
I felt like I had to say it because I wanted you to be, I didn't want you to be uncomfortable in your own home with somebody being outside cleaning the windows and what you're wearing. And I know that what I said it wrong. Mm-hmm. And again, I do believe that the whole point of I should be able to wear what I want to wear that is true. And the other side of that is boys need to be taught, you need to be better. Mm-hmm. Period. You need to be better.
He didn't even end up washing the windows.
And then he didn't end up washing the windows. In fact, he waited around till somebody got home that lived in the top level.
I would not have let him do that. I would have said, no, you can't.
I want my window clean.
Okay, yeah, but they have access to a way to clean it. That does not mean it's okay for him to have to come into our house or apartment.
Well, I wouldn't have agreed to that if you were here by yourself.
Still,
I wouldn't have done it. But I feel like I want my window clean, and I need him to come clean it. Who knows? He might even offer to do the whole balcony, which I'm not going to say no. Because, but yeah, I feel like it's kind of weird that he has to come inside. But, they, again, did not provide him. I'm so accustomed to ours because we're at the top. Mm-hmm. I'm so accustomed to them taking a stupid hose and just wetting it and not cleaning it. I'm so used to that this time I'm going to actually get it clean.
All right.
So, but I get that, honestly, in the U.S., I probably wouldn't have said yes to this. No. I would not have said yes. Yes, you can come in my house. But here, I would leave him the key. Mm-hmm. If I weren't going to be here, I'd say, I'll just leave you a key. I really would have.
He's going to make everything smell like cigarette smoke.
Well, he can't smoke inside.
Well, yeah, but he's going to come inside smelling like cigarette smoke.
I know. And he's going to crawl on my couch. So... but anyway, I'll just have to get Febreze. But yeah, it was so weird how, after he left, I was like, I don't know how long he's been waiting. But he had said he had tried to call up and the other people didn't, and nobody answered. He said, is he home? And I was like, yeah, he's usually home. So he waited around at least he waited around to ask somebody, can I come back and clean your window? Because I couldn't get it today.
Yeah, that's true. He could have just done it.
Right. And he didn't. He waited around, and who knows how long he was waiting. But not, at least an hour, because you said he was on the last window.
Yeah, I think so.
So he waited at least an hour because we ate lunch.
Yeah.
And then we got a bus beer. Yeah. So we were going, what, an hour and a half? You were going an hour and a half, 2 hours?
I don't even think so. I don't think
so. Anyway, he waited at least an hour for somebody to come home to ask that question too, and to tell us why he couldn't get the upper level windows.
Yeah.
So
anyway, well, what other documentaries?
I don't know, but we need to find one on winemaking or wine tours.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's wine documentaries.
Yeah, definitely. I would, because we toured 2 vineyards when we were in Florence.
Nice.
And of course, I don't remember the name of them.
Yes, when you were in Florence, where the train tickets would have cost the same amount as your flights to London.
Sorry. Friends, it was stunning. Anyway, yeah, we did 2 vineyards there, because we were only there for a long weekend. It's not like we were there a long time. But it just, we had some good wine. It was so funny. Our driver, drank as much wine as we did. And I was tipsy after the first vineyard. But fortunately at the first vineyard, they gave us food and so much food. And it had fat in it. And, it was like, it was good. Mm-hmm. And so I did the wine didn't, I guess, affect me quite as bad. And then the second vineyard, it was at least an hour drive away, maybe an hour and a half. We get to the second vineyard and we walk around, we tour the vineyard and they show us, their barrels and they tell us all about it. And they have this one little patch in the vineyard where they grow a special Syrah grape. And, I love the Syrah wines. And he has this one patch for his wife. And every year he bottles, I think he said they bottle maybe 100, 150 bottles from that patch. Mm-hmm. And so we got one of those bottles because that's one of the expensive ones, right? Because they don't have that many. But your dad bought me one of those bottles. Nice. I know. I was quite impressed. I was quite happy. And then we saved it for our anniversary that year. Mm-hmm. It was so good. And on the bottle, it talks. He's made a special label for his wife. His special whatever her name is. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but it's sweet. It was really good. Really good. So but we had a ton of food at the second one. Mm-hmm. It was just like we ate so much that day. We drank so much wine that day. And Paolo, our driver, oh my goodness gracious, he was funny, But yeah,
I would love to do something like that.
He was great. Yeah, we definitely should do a couple of vineyards, but we got to make some money first. Yeah. Be able to do that. We got to be able to, or they need to invite us in. Invite us in. Go ahead, we'll come. Be happy to, promote you. More than happy. But yeah, it's good. So I don't mind opening a bottle of wine and watching a documentary.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't care what kind of wine it is.
Yeah.
I would do it. That's my plans next week.
And then there's been a lot of There was other documentaries that I've seen that I was thinking of. Well, there was one I had to watch.
This is a really good one.
When did I take AP Human Geography? Was that 10th grade?
Yes. Yeah. Because you wanted to take it at night. He wanted you to be in there at night, and then they wouldn't let him.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me do it, which is funny because I would have been in Rin's class.
Yeah.
That would have made me so happy.
You're so competitive.
It's only when it comes to schoolwork.
Okay. Something you have confidence in.
Yeah. But I had to watch a documentary called God Grew Tired of Us. And I wanted to watch it again because it was really good, and I can't really remember that much of it, but it was about
Afghanistan?
No.
Oh, was it some of the refugee camps?
Yeah, it was the seven boys. Oh my gosh. What is it? Oh gosh. It was
okay,
the specific
not the ones from Dachau or
no, it was
Sudan.
3 Sudanese refugees. It wasn't I was thinking the Lost Boys of Sudan.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
That's a different one. But I have also seen the Lost Boys of Sudan, I think.
Have we read something? Did we read one of these books?
No, but A Long Way Home is kind of similar. It's about he's from Sierra Leone.
That was good. That was That was really good. So required reading while you were in high school. Yeah. I liked it. I did. That was wow. I might reread that one. Yeah. I've got a stack of books that I'm reading and rereading. Some I missed along the way. Some that I just scanned through because I had to write papers on them, so I didn't read them real close.
Yeah.
So did the quick read of a lot of books, and so I've picked them up, and I'm doing some reading now. Yeah. That's going to kind of get through that. So I'm kind of excited about that, to be able to read thoroughly as opposed to just kind of skimming through something just to write a paper.
Okay, well, what else I was going to say, I've also seen a couple ballet documentaries. Mm-hmm. Well, I saw First Position. There was another one I wanted to watch to get that. There's another one I want to watch called Ballet 422, which I have not seen, but it's also a ballet documentary, obviously.
Okay. Well, our show notes are going to be crazy, so we're going to stop.
Oh, okay. We're going to stop talking.
I think, that's one reason I didn't mention any of the book titles.
Oh,
because I didn't want to list a whole bunch of book titles in the show notes. But yeah, there's like I said, there's books I'm happy that I'm getting to read now because I can take some time now and thoroughly read them as opposed to just the skimming.
We'll have to do an episode on nonfiction books.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, well, we hope you've enjoyed the conversation.
We'll be back next week with a new bottle of wine and a new topic. If you want to join the conversation, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Wine Together Pod. Join our Facebook group, Wine Together Podcast. And if you don't want to miss out on our regular weekly episodes, along with all our bonus content, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts, as well as subscribing, liking, and commenting on our YouTube, Wine Together Podcast.